these Chinese companies think enough of us to use our name
and copy our
and
stuff.
if they copied my foot peg design almost exactly. I've had people, not just the Chinese, I've had American companies take my designs and then copy them exactly with maybe just changing the logo.
Pam fits in the gas tank skid plate of a WJ.
Mhm.
There's literally pictures of her in the WJ gas tank skid plate.
Well done.
We measure boxes by Pam.
Have you ever been under a Jeep that has aluminum skid plates that actually have been used?
Yeah.
They get
We have.
destroyed. Yeah, I have. You have. They get
We have.
destroyed really quick. And they're expensive. And they don't hold up. And that's actually why we don't make them. We want to sell a quality product. We want people to be happy with what we provide them and with the money they've spent.
I'm Pam from Skid Row Offroad.
I'm Brittany.
And I'm Eric, also from Skid Row Offroad, and you're watching The Trailhead.
Rev it up, let it roar, feel the ground shake. Pedal down, dust flying, no time to waste. The trailhead's calling, engine power on a roll. This is where trails start and stories unfold. Under starlit skies, where the wild things roam. Every trail a journey, every Jeep a home. Meet me at the trailhead, where the wild ones run. The dust kicks high and the day's not done. With the road wide open and the dirt in our soul. This is where trails start and our stories unfold.
Well, welcome back to the Trailhead, where you don't need a super built rig or a fat wallet to hang out, just hard hustle and the lowest tire pressure you can manage. Tonight, we are joined by the entire team from Skid Row Offroad. Eric Coda, Pam Weidemoyer, Brittany Dye.
At least I get the easy name here.
I know, and I really appreciate you for it. I got to tell you, it's... I try, I practice, I still screw it up, so it's okay. I just feel good about it. Well, welcome to the show, guys. How you doing?
Well, thanks. Good.
Good. It's a little later here than it is for you.
Oh, but, I mean, it's like 2 hours, so it's about 8 o'clock. I'm not going to keep you up too late. I mean, I have had people from Pennsylvania stay on an interview until 1:30 in the morning their time. And
wow.
It was long. It was a 3.5 hour long interview. I still haven't edited it all. And no. I told them later, I'm like, you guys got to go to bed. Like, I need to go to bed. Like, it's almost midnight for me. Like, you need to go to sleep. We're not going to do that tonight.
I reckon I don't.
Do 3 hours.
One of us are doing well.
I mean, if you guys have stories to talk, yeah, there you go. Okay. If we lose one or two, I mean, it's okay. We'll make it. We'll get to the end of this. Awesome. All right. Well, so thanks so much for you guys to come on the show. When I do the pre-show interview, like little form that I ask people to fill out, like one of the questions is, what did you want to come on the show? My favorite one is because you asked, and that was, I loved it. I think 2 of you responded that way. And that was
actually
beautiful.
It was just one of us because I filled hers out.
I get it now. Okay.
That was the way I was being retired.
Wow. He's just pulling all the weight for that then. Okay. You were being that's just like a verb we use now. Okay.
Yeah. Pam's retired, so that's her like reasoning for half of what she does is or doesn't do is I'm retired.
I enjoy this dynamic. I really enjoy this situation that is happening here, because if you're listening to this show right now, you are listening to the entirety of Skid Row Offroad. This is, and I'm not mistaken in that statement, correct?
That is correct.
Nope, it's just the 3 of us.
Just the 3 of you, and that's impressive on a number of different levels. I mean, not to mention the fact that you guys have been doing it since 1999, but just that you've been doing it since 1999. I think a lot of people know who you are. It's especially even if you're from the East, but we hear about you out here in the West, and it's not just because Craig and Fergie, JKU, but for all the other reasons, because you guys make good gear. So awesome. I want to talk a little bit to each of you first to kind of introduce you so people know who it is we're talking to, and then we'll talk more about the business piece of stuff. I'm going to start with the retiree because she apparently very much wants to go to sleep early. So we'll start with her. All right. So Pam, how did you come to, did you off-road at all? Or do you just like cars in general?
I had been wheeling prior, and I have a 79 Jeep CJ7 Golden Eagle, and I went on a mini jamboree, and that's how I met Eric. And at that time, I was still living in the Philadelphia area, and we communicated and hung out together and stuff. He started the business. At that time, I was still working in electronics, and as we know, electronics have left the America, and I was helping him out part-time, and then it turned into full-time, and 26 years later, here I am.
I mean, that's a long time to be with any business. I mean,
Yes.
let alone a small
We're
business.
lucky to be in business for as long as we have. We've had our struggles, we've had our arguments, we've gotten through it, and here we are. Yeah, we
I'm
like to
sure. Well, if Eric started the business in '99 and then you joined shortly thereafter, and Brittany, I think, I got you down here with 2020?
Yep, I joined in 2020.
So you all essentially have been with this business for 25 years and working with each other for 25 years. That's a long relationship to voluntarily be a part of.
Okay, yes.
Yeah. Brittany says we bicker like old married couple,
They
but
do.
yeah.
I can't tell you how many people have asked me if the two of them are married. Like, I think the first 2 or 3 years that I worked for the company, I must have heard that at least a couple of times a month when people would be around the two of them. They'd be like, "Are those two married?" And I'm like, no, they just act like they are because they've been in each other's world for so long.
They just drive each other nuts sometimes. I get it.
Mm.
It's
That's
awesome.
true.
All right. Again, it's not a dig in any way, shape, or form. This is
No.
fantastic for
And not,
me.
and
This
not
is
taken either. It is what it is.
awesome. It is what it is. It is what it is when it comes to family. Always.
Yes, it is.
All right. Well, then we'll end with Eric, Brittany, and we kind of touched on your stuff, but Skid Row is kind of like the last step in Jeeps for you, isn't it? Like you started way back.
I got my TJ back in 2011 when we lived in Colorado, and
Okay.
started wheeling literally the day after we bought it. I think we took it into the mountains. We lived in
Yep, that's
Colorado
usually what
Springs
happens.
and
Nice.
took it up. It wasn't Gold Camp Road, Old Stage Road.
Old Stage Road.
Took it up there. The videos are popping up on my Facebook now because it's like we bought it like October 24th or something.
Okay.
Baby TJ took it up into the mountains, took it through the mud and the snow up in Colorado, learned to wheel in Colorado, did Old Chinaman Gulch on 32s.
Ooh.
Not the best of ideas. But at that point,
could use some skid
37
plates then, couldn't you?
Yeah, I didn't have those at that time. 37s at that point though were like the massive tire. So like everybody was running typically like 33s, 35s. Most of the guys were running 35s. We were the baby. We got shoved in the middle and everybody kind of helped us out. Moved east and continued wheeling. We grew up in Jersey, so we did a little bit of like the sand and the crappy stuff in Jersey. PA's got some great wheeling. It's just weird to have to pay for it when you come from an area that you don't do that. And and then we brought an LJ into the family back in 2017. So now he has a Jeep and I have a Jeep. And I dumbly give him my keys to wheel and he flops it on its side. Hence why it's sitting at Skid Row now.
But she's just going to she wanted to make sure that got recorded. Like, I know that was like, we talked about that before. And she's like, I just want everybody to know that I'm not the one that flopped it on its side. Yeah,
I'm not the one that flopped it. I did not say, hey, watch this. And then I do that enough.
Hold my beer.
I mean,
Never
I've done
that.
it before. Eric's been there. I've been like, hey, let's try this.
Yeah, but
I've
you
been
haven't
good.
flopped it over.
I've never flopped it over. I have kissed a couple of trees. I do like trees. But I've never like
I think we've all
my hood with a tree.
Yeah. And look, here's now where I get to be the nice guy on the show and tell you that you have now seen, based on what we watched before we got onto the air, that I have done my own damage, so you guys are good. Like, and I'm sure I can only imagine the pictures you guys have seen over the years of stuff that you've gotten in from customers and stuff, either non-protected or stuff that
Yeah.
protected them from, and all the rest of it. All right, we'll talk about that then too. Then you ended up. Well, that's just a long journey from Milan to Minsk. So you went from Jersey to Colorado. Is
My
that
husband was military, so he was stationed at Carson.
okay?
So that's why we were in Colorado, and then came back east after he got out. Sometimes regret that just because I really loved Colorado and its beauty and the ability to literally just disappear in the mountains for hours and hours and hours and never see pavement for
Yeah.
the whole day.
Yeah. And quickly, and like there's trails like 5 minutes from here. There's trails right off
From
Colorado. Like, yep.
from Carson to the bottom of Old Stage Road was, I don't know, 15 minutes, if that.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
we disappeared up there. I disappeared up there for days when he would go to training. Like, see you later. I'm taking the dogs and like hanging out in the mountains all day. Came back east to be around family, and then we ended up in central Pennsylvania. And I happened to meet Eric because of him. He worked for Four Wheel Parts for a while, and it was not
Oh.
far from Skid, and
Brendan
that's how
worked for
Brendan met
4 Wheel
Eric.
Parts for a while. I sold to 4 Wheel Parts. That's how I met Brendan.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They
I
were one of our
see.
dealers.
Yeah, Four Wheel Parts used to carry Skid Row when Four Wheel Parts
Okay.
still existed.
Existed.
Yeah.
Do they are they no, I don't want to get off on that tangent. All right. All right. Well, and then 20 something years later, you're here still kicking it with the same company. Like, I'm just really impressed by that, guys. Like, just the fact that you haven't stabbed each other. I'm honestly, like, seriously, it's
We haven't?
You know what? I wonder how Pam hasn't done that some days. Because she
I
definitely
mean-
I'm
gets
screaming when I'm standing behind him going,
yeah. Do you talk with your hands a lot and sharp
do.
objects? Because that's a problem.
yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay.
Yeah,
when the
I got
staple
this-
gun is in her hand that
there's
we staple the boxes with, that's when you run.
Yeah.
Oh, good Lord. All right. Eric,
Yeah.
I
I like
I
those
feel like-
new flippy carton cutters too. I kind of
boy.
Yeah, those are fun.
So, Eric, do you know at like what level of employees you have to like start having HR training or anything like that, and OSHA training, those kinds of things? Because I don't know,
Yeah, actually, I haven't really
you might
thought
be
about
under the
that.
radar. What?
I haven't really thought about that.
Okay.
Maybe
Well,
I
then
should have.
don't think about it. No, I don't
Yeah.
think you should.
he
Maybe.
knows that a
What's
kinch
OSHA
are always there.
As we've raised Eric in a homemade cart on the forklift to go install lights in the ceiling.
That sounds about right. Yep.
Hey,
How about that?
Yeah. I forgot about that, he says. Well, it's because you hit your head on your way up.
wait a minute! I could have
And-
been
Like, here,
bodily
you can-
harmed on the skid plate of a Toyota. I made it into a toboggan.
Oh,
Oh yeah, the stock gas tank skid plate off a Forerunner.
Okay, it was runner.
Yeah, it was
Oh,
a
is there
Forerunner.
videos
and
of
we
this
got
somewhere?
dragged
Toboggan.
around in the snow.
Is there
There's a
video
video of that on
somewhere?
Instagram.
there is. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'll have to find it and add it here. Yep.
It's
Okay,
part of
that's
the,
fantastic.
It's part of the Toyota winter package for the Tacoma. It's a portable sled. It just takes 4 bolts to take off. And then, you can have fun. It stores easily. It's a great accessory.
I like the marketing behind this. I think I am very much a person who is into the multi-use parts, and I like this idea a lot. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Sits
I will
right-
say this.
It's right by the door in case it snows.
Yeah,
It
I'll do
is.
that again.
Look, if we actually ever get snow again.
Oh, you guys will be fine. Maybe. I don't know. We're kind of in the same boat here in Colorado, so we'll see how this winter goes. And I don't know we need the snow.
I don't know. Eric built my Liberty for me, so it's lifted and has really nice mud terrains. And I was all ready to put it in 4-wheel drive, and we didn't get enough snow to even move it to 4-wheel drive.
Oh,
I know.
well, last year or this year?
Last year we didn't.
Last year?
We didn't have any snow.
What year Liberty is it?
05, 6-speed.
Nice. Okay. I like the old ones.
Fun
Yeah,
fact,
that's cool.
I am the only one in the shop that cannot drive a manual, and they both only drive manuals.
Yes,
Well, not only. I have some autos.
I have 2 automatics. out of the
Well, your
7
one
vehicles.
was not your choice. It was
That
Dad's.
it was Dad's, yes. And my
But
show
I
car
can't
is
drive a manual, and most of the vehicles that are around our shop
Our
are
manual.
manuals.
Oh, yeah.
So, all right, so is it that you don't want to learn, or that you
I
have
have learned.
struggled
I've
to?
learned twice in the last 15 years, but we don't have a manual in my house. So like I learn and I get the hang of it, but I don't have anything to continue driving it. So like if we got into an emergency and I needed to get somewhere and do it, I at least know the gist of it. But like I'm not going to hop in Pam's vehicle and go take off in it because I'm worried I'm going to just grind the gears and just absolutely destroy her flywheel, or like it's just not a good idea.
I could drive a manual. I could drive a manual. I could make it happen.
If I absolutely had to, I could. We had a friend have that issue one day. Her husband's Jeep was a manual, and they had an emergency at home, and she had to take him to the hospital, and she couldn't take him because she couldn't drive his Jeep. So she had to call friends that lived down the road to take him.
I had a friend text message me from she had gone out with her boyfriend to some bar.
Where are
He
you?
was drunk and she needed to drive home. She wanted me to teach her how to drive a manual transmission via text message.
See, here's Art. This is our mascot here.
Oh, yeah, this is OC.
This is OC.
OC stands for office cat.
Very creative. Yes. I'm impressed. I'm very impressed. Is this our resident diabetic?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
and
he is.
congratulations,
He's the one
taking
who
care
gets
of a special
insulin
needs
twice a
cat of
day.
any kind.
Now he's leaving.
Yeah. Anytime you have to force yourself to give a cat medication twice a day, my hat's off to you.
He is Eric's cat. That is,
Yeah, he's Eric's cat.
He
I
allows
found him.
Eric to do anything and everything. Anybody else goes to like bother with him, and he is grumpy old man. But that is Eric's cat, like through and through.
Well, well, Eric, I don't want to jump straight to the cat situation, but so cats are puppies,
right?
Oh yeah, basically.
Yeah, he is.
He's cats.
I mean,
realistically, they both are. Pam is crazy cat lady, also.
Well,
yeah, she only
I think
has 9 cats.
I only have 9 cats.
Pam,
down. I only have 9 cats and a turtle. I used to have chinchillas and a boxer and
and
so
2 turtles
down.
and 9 cats and and her mom has 5 cats and a dog and
a dog.
So real talk here. JD, when he moved to Colorado, had 8 cats. Through marriage and through death, we had managed to just accumulate 8 cats.
Wow.
We are down to 1. And
wow.
he is and it's not, I'm not like yeeting them out of the house or anything, Pam. Like it's
well, that's
it's
it.
been
like
10
all
years.
my guys are getting older.
Yeah,
so yeah.
No, it's been 10 years and they were old when they moved here. So
right.
Yeah,
they drop.
Yeah, the way you reacted to that, it just made me feel like Jesus, just making me okay.
They're tasty.
So yes, they're tasty. No, Jesus. I say that to you to tell you that it's so much better when there's less. Like I've been there. I've been to the top of the mountain. I've seen it, and this is one of those few times where I'll say the view is better from lower. It's lower. Yeah.
I agree.
But I get it.
I'm a sucker.
I understand how it happens. I know how it happens. Understand. All right. Well, Eric, let's talk about you for a minute though, man, because we've talked about everything but. And you're the guy who started this, right? So let's go back to what got you into off-roading, kind of how you ended up where you're at in Pennsylvania there.
Well, I moved to Pennsylvania for a job. So I'm a mechanical engineer. I found work here in Harrisburg, doing machine design work. And that was in 1993. October of 93, I bought my first Jeep. Was actually looking for a scrambler. Couldn't find one, and couldn't find a decent one. And it was difficult even then. And ended up buying a brand new 94 YJ. So
They have the
It
squares.
was surprisingly inexpensive. I mean, I bought one that was 4-cylinder, manual trans, manual steering, no back seat, no carpet, no right-hand mirror, no radio, as cheap as I could possibly get a brand new Jeep.
Cat stinks.
Wait, this
And
is considered a brand new Jeep with no mirror on the right side?
yeah, yep. In '94, it was well, it was October '93 when I picked it up from the dealer. But yeah, October '93, you could still order a brand new Jeep with nothing. So,
Huh.
I mean, since
Wow.
then, I've put mirrors on it and
We all
power
appreciate that. Yeah.
steering. I put power steering along with the locker. When I put the locker up front, I put power steering in it. But yeah. Anyways, but,
Okay.
yeah, it was as basic as you could possibly get. I never did add carpet or a back seat, but yeah. But
I
anyways,
mean, carpet's overrated.
that one is the Jeep that got me started. It's called the Mud Puppy, and I don't know that I have pictures of it up on anywhere. I haven't driven it for quite a while now.
Pretty sure it's on
You still
Instagram.
have it though.
Oh yeah, it's
That's
in the shop.
awesome.
I got to replace the back half of the frame. It rotted out really bad, so I have a replacement frame. I just don't feel like tearing the entire vehicle apart, so I'm going to just replace the back half of the frame and get it going again. I just haven't had time to.
Okay.
So, but yes, I still have it. So,
Nice. I think
but
there's a lot of us that wish we had still managed to keep and hold on to that first Jeep somehow.
yeah, oh, I'm sure. There's a rather in May of '95. I'd been getting interested in going off road. I went on a Jeep Jamboree
Oh, there you go.
with that Jeep. My friend TJ came along with me, and we had a blast. But I did a lot of damage to it. We got,
Mm.
it had 205 radials on it. Those are the tires that came with it. I mean, those were teeny
Yeah.
tiny little tires. No lift. I had one sway bar disconnect. I think it was on the driver's side. The passenger side, I didn't disconnect at that point.
Right.
And I took it on this jamboree, ended up in a muddy and rocky stretch of trail that I couldn't get through, so they pulled me through it. And as you might imagine, the Jeep kind of went all over the place and put a dent in the oil pan that wasn't all that bad. The dent is still there. It didn't tear anything open, thankfully, but it
Yeah.
nearly closed the exhaust pipe, the crossover pipe.
Yeah.
And so I actually had trouble driving home from Maine because the exhaust was half
Oh.
closed.
And you didn't know it.
Well, I had figured it out, but what was I going to do?
Yeah.
It's like,
It's not like you can throw a crowbar for that far back.
right. That was the idea. That's what kind of sparked the idea for the business, because there were no skid plates available. There was nothing available, not for a YJ. The TJs weren't out yet. And I made a skid plate for myself because I had a great time, wanted to do it again, but there was no way in hell I was going to do it again with what happened. I had to protect the underside because it was a brand new vehicle,
Right.
so and then by September, October, I went on another Jeep Jamboree, and I ended up starting my own Jeep club. Oh yeah, that's right there. That was the club that I started. Jeeps Are Us.
Jeeps Are Us. That's awesome.
Yeah, I think that club is dead now.
More or less.
Yeah, it's more or less dead now. But anyways, I just kind of went from there and started making. Well, people started asking me for skid plates, and but I wasn't really at that point wasn't thinking of starting a business until a few years later, and ended up starting Skid Row with making first our top prop, because that was the easier thing to do. I could get that moving faster, and then I started doing the TJ and then the YJ skid plates. um uh, no specific. I think the reason I started doing the TJ ones first was because I had access to the vehicle and from a friend, and I figured being the new vehicle, they would sell better. I don't know, but it did
I mean,
started
it's
making those.
fair. Yeah.
So Been doing it ever since.
Did you find that you sold more of the YJ stuff or the TJ stuff then, even though
It's
you
always been
built all the
TJ.
TJ stuff?
Always TJ.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
That tracks.
Yep.
It's the same thing. I think people will find that with the JK too in the coming years. Like everybody's like, oh, I got to get the JL stuff out there. And I'm just like, but there's so many of us still with the JKs and the JKUs. So, yep.
I don't know.
And we still want to protect them.
I definitely should have more JL stuff. There's no question about that because I have virtually nothing. But yeah, I don't know. I sell more Toyota stuff than anything.
Really?
Yeah.
But yeah,
That's kind of interesting. Okay.
Yeah, Toyota is the
it's
big
prob-
seller now.
It's probably 80. I think we probably 80%, 85% Toyota.
And
We don't sell
mostly
much Jeep
Tundra
right
and
now.
Sequoia.
What's that?
Mostly Tundra and Sequoia.
Yes, that's true. Yeah, it's almost all first gen Toyota Tundra and Sequoia.
I mean, that there is part of that makes sense to me because you can only lift those things so much before it starts getting unwieldy, and
Well, the other
people
thing
want
is that
skid plates on them.
there's no competition. Nobody else makes the stuff.
That'll do it.
That's helpful. That is
Very
helpful.
Yeah,
Because
that's
it used to be Bud built, and he doesn't do anything anymore, right?
I have no idea what he's doing.
Yeah.
I haven't looked.
all right. I mean, go where the business is at, and go where your customers tell you, are telling you what they want. So if
Yeah.
it's the Toyota folks that are knocking that, busting down your door right now, then Toyota folks just let them bust down
Paying
the door.
bills. Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding,
It's
right?
just funny because
Especially
we're all Jeep people.
Yeah.
We are all Jeepers,
Yeah,
and we do a lot
I feel like
with Toyota.
I feel like the Toyotas are starting to weasel their way into the conversation
Oh,
more
yeah.
these days. So
Oh, yeah,
I'm okay
definitely.
with
And a lot of guys really like the Sequoias specifically because they're great for overlanding, but they're also family friendly. So when you
Yes.
look at a TJ or a two-door JK,
There's not a lot of room.
No.
yeah, like
You
you're
can't
not
like
packing
bungee
the
cord the
whole
kids to the
family
roof.
to go overlanding and to do a bunch of stuff for the weekend. Like it ain't happening
With the
on that
rear
little
seats
guy.
folded forward in my Sequoia, there's like more than 6 feet of sleeping space in there.
Dang,
Yeah,
that's
they're
good.
Yeah, they're
huge.
huge.
I'm 6'6". Yeah,
I
I need
slept
that
in the
kinda
back
space.
of my Renegade.
Pam, you're like 4 foot nothing.
I was gonna say, Pam, like I didn't actually see you stand up, but even just sitting there next to Eric, I can
He is
tell.
standing. What are you talking about?
Oh,
You have to
I'm
look through the
5 foot if
pictures
I
of
stand
Pam
up straight.
fitting. Pam fits in the gas tank skid plate of a WJ.
Mhm.
There's literally pictures of her in the WJ like gas tank skid plate.
well
We
done.
measure boxes by Pam.
Yeah, that's
By
Pam height.
Pam's.
Yes.
Nice.
There-
I like this.
Is it Pam height? Okay, then it's a Tacoma transfer case. Is it taller than Pam? Okay, it's a Tundra transfer case. Is the top prop box shorter than Pam? Then okay, it's a
For
TJ
TJ.
top prop.
TJ, yeah.
If it's
it's
a
bigger-
little tall, if it's almost as tall as Pam or as tall as Pam, then it's a JK top prop. This is how we measure boxes. I'm not even getting you either.
See, I'm useful for
99% sure I have
something.
pictures of like a box measuring with Pam.
I'm sure. Oh well, I'll add one in here if you send it to me.
I
All right.
definitely have the photo of her in the WJ gas tank skid sitting as
Somewhere,
we're trying
yeah.
to pack it.
That is, yeah, I think that's perfect for this because I especially because I like encouraging people to watch and they need to see for themselves. So any way you can embarrass Pam at this point, I think is going to be good for business.
I don't think that's possible, but okay.
Well, I
She
mean,
really
even
doesn't embarrass easily.
perceived embarrassment still works for marketing purposes.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah.
yeah. So Eric, what you started it kind of just to get products and stuff because you didn't see anybody really making them, and then
Yes.
what do you guys do? Because you aren't on like Amazon or anything like that. You guys are, and it's just the three of you. Again, it's just the three of you guys doing this and putting it together and doing the manufacturing. How do you do that? How do you handle manufacturing?
We don't do much of any of the manufacturing.
Okay.
We have there are local shops that we sub that out to. So there's right now I'm only using a few shops. I used to use more. But there's a shop in Lancaster that does the laser cutting for us. And then it used to be across the cornfield. There was an Amish shop that would do the press brake work for us and some of the welding. Now they just built a new building and they're across the street from the laser shop. But yeah, it's I think the laser shop is Mennonite, the press brake shop is Amish, and then I take yeah, and then I take some of the parts, the small parts, go to another Mennonite shop for powder coating, and then the large parts I take to another shop like an hour, 2 hours away to have that, and they're not either.
They're just goofy.
They're
Yeah,
English.
but for the large parts get powdered at a
Goofy.
different shop than the small
Welcome to
parts do.
Pennsylvania.
Yeah,
Welcome to
yeah, but it's
Pennsylvania with Amish
all
and Mennonite as a regular.
yeah.
It's just the back and forth that's what's got me right now. It's just
Lancaster
it goes over
County,
here and then goes over here, and then it
Fayette
ends up with the
County.
heathens. Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they go to Lancaster County and Fayette County. And we're in
Yes.
Cumberland County, technically.
Right.
But yeah, Lancaster County to Fayette County, there's 2 counties in between that. So yeah, it's like
Yes.
a 2.5,
It's
2.5 hour
we're
drive.
about an hour from Lancaster. We're about an hour from Waynesboro, and so the the longest trip the farthest I take anything is an hour away, but it's all central PA.
There you go. Yeah.
For our
Go
top
ahead.
props, that material is custom made here in PA too, because they're actually a custom colored fiberglass slat that we use for the top props. Those are made out in
Bedford.
Bedford, PA, so that's a few hours away, but it's all PA.
But it's all local, essentially. Yeah.
Basically, yeah. Yep.
That's awesome, man. And it's especially, I mean, all things considered with everything going on, it's when you're already sourced locally, when all that stuff starts going on, it makes it a lot easier to continue to be sourced locally and get that work done locally. How do you guys stand out from in terms of like what you offer in both just kind of the product lines, obviously varying is going to depend on what your customers are asking for from each particular vehicle make and year. But what is it about your plates that are different than say like the ones on Amazon and stuff like that are kind of stamped and mass produced differently?
They're made in USA, not China.
Made in USA is definitely one thing that we do like to point out. But one of the things that I've noticed is that most of our skid plates are either 3/16 thick or 1/4 inch thick. A lot of the ones that I've seen being sold dirt cheap on Amazon are 1/8 inch thick. They're also usually not designed that well. Even some of the American made stuff, they're designed in such a way that it's obvious to me they didn't put enough thought into it, because I can see where they're going to bend before they even get installed. I've seen this. I've
Mm.
seen it many times, and it's like the person designing the part was just throwing something together to get it out without really putting any thought into its how it would end up getting beat up and how it would end up getting used. So how does that separate us? I don't know. For the most part, I think our stuff is a little better designed than most of what, certainly better designed than the stuff you see dirt cheap on Amazon.
It also helps that we put our products to the test ourselves.
Right. I was just going to say that. That's what I was going to
There you
add.
go.
We've
Like,
actually
I mean,
reeled with our stuff and proved that it's good. I mean,
it's
I
gonna
bent the
hold
heck out
up.
of my YJ skid plate, but you take it off, drive over it, put it back on.
Well, the other thing, and I don't necessarily, this hasn't happened recently, but one of the things that it kind of tells me that I'm doing something right is that, and this has happened about now probably 6 times or so, several years ago now. Again, it hasn't happened recently, but these Chinese companies think enough of us to use our name
And copy our
and to
stuff.
copy our stuff.
You have
That's
other
kind of
American
a
companies that just
yeah.
take our
And
stuff
I've
and
seen this.
copy it
I've
too.
seen this quite a lot. I saw this recently. This was an American company, but they copied my foot peg design almost exactly. They just put a different instead of where I might have it say JK or TJ. They put a Jeep grill in it.
Mm.
I won't do that because a Jeep grill is copyrighted.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
whoever this
They'll
other
come after
company,
you.
I didn't. Yeah, I don't know who it was. I didn't dig into it to find out, but I mean they were violating copyright, their trademark, not copyright. They were violating a
Trademark, yeah.
trademark, registered trademark in doing that, and they copied my design, but of the overall foot peg. So they weren't very imaginative or very knowledgeable, whoever they are. But I've had people not just the Chinese. I've had American companies take my designs and then copy them exactly with maybe just changing the logo. Actually, we saw Brittany and I saw a company. Oh, they're making their own Toyota products, and they bought
That's so
mine
sweet.
to copy.
Yep, they took
Um,
the logo out and put in the TRD logo instead.
Similar to the TRD, you can't use that. That is a registered trademark of Toyota, and they copied it exactly. And the reason that I know that they took my skid plates to copy them is because their prototype oil pan skid plate for the Tundra was literally one of mine.
There's
Oh,
specific
lovely.
design elements that he can spot on each one that he can go, "Oh, that's mine."
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Now, you know, I've told this story before to people. I don't know. I think it's hysterical. Early on, I had a new, fairly early on. I don't remember when it was exactly, but our steering box skid plate for the Jeep TJ. The drawings for that are 2D. I actually have to update them to 3D, but I hadn't needed to recently. I'm working on that now. But early on, they were 2D. If you take it to one shop, some people will read a 2D drawing a little differently than another. It's easy to make a mistake when it's not a 3D model, where the flat pattern for the part is all automatically generated and everything. Well, one batch we got from one of our vendors had a mistake on it. The entire batch had the mistake, but we didn't catch it right off the bat. We caught it pretty quick and ended up having to have them remade. But apparently, one of the few we sent out was sent to someone who copied it.
Ugh.
And I could see it in the pictures on their website. I could see the mistake. I knew exactly what had happened. They copied two of my products, just copied it exactly and put their logo on it. And one of them didn't fit. And I loved it.
Wow. Do you ever feel like it's worth going after those situations, or do those usually
Nah,
fold pretty fast?
there's nothing I can do.
Yeah.
For the most part, a skid plate is not something that you can patent.
Okay.
And although I've gone after the Chinese companies that use my name, I mean, that I
That's
couldn't
fair.
let go.
Yeah.
But a design, I could take another company's products and copy them exactly and put my logo on it, and there's nothing anybody can do about it.
Yeah. That
The
sucks.
only one that does bother me that was a mistake I made back in '04 was our modular bumpers for the TJ. I am the person who invented the modular bumper back in '04.
Oh.
I don't have the patent
Mm.
because I was we were so overwhelmed with everything that we were doing. It was our first time at SEMA, and then there were some other things that happened right after that, and it just never I never got around to patenting the modular bumper design. Well, now everybody makes them. And I think it was Smittybilt patented my design. Like
Sweet.
2 years later, we were at SEMA and we walked into their booth, and I don't remember. I'm pretty sure it was Smittybilt. I
I
could be
think it was.
wrong.
I think it was Smittybilt.
I'm
That
pretty sure it
tracks.
was. I walked into their booth, and vice president of the company recognized me, and he showed me their modular bumper design. Now they did it for the JK because the JK was the new thing. And he literally said to me, "Well, we copied your design. I hope you don't mind." But
Yes.
there was legally nothing I could do about it.
Right.
Yeah.
You know
It-
what that copy of my design was? That was the first that was the first bumper in our industry that ever sold over $1 million in 1 year.
oh,
So yeah, that one
ouch.
still gets me.
That can sting a little bit, and
Yeah, and that's actually the
I'm
only
sorry for
product.
having brought you to the memory. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the only product that I've done two different products that could have been patented. That's one of them. The other is our top prop. And I did try to patent that early on when I first designed it. I mean, I've got four other patents from previous work that I've done. So I was familiar with the process. I knew an
Oh,
attorney
I
that I could work with. He had just retired from the company I used to work for. And
There it is.
there you go. That's it.
Yep, everybody's real familiar with this. If you have a best top, soft top, you have something similar to this bar that runs across the top of your Jeep.
Although they
And
stopped sending that out in the last couple of years with their tops.
yeah, and actually Best Top ordered one of our early top props when they first found out about it, about my top prop. They ordered one, but they ordered it through one of our dealers.
Quad.
Was it through
It was
Quadratech?
to the quad.
Yeah.
Mm.
And so they were trying to be sneaky about it, actually, figuring that I wouldn't know who
Yeah,
who we
it's
were
real hard to
sending it
trace
to.
those things. Yeah.
And anyway, so we made sure that the one that we sent them said patent pending on it because we had applied for the patent. And so then they couldn't just out and out copy it because they recognize it and they follow the rules as far as I know. So yeah, they eventually though did come up with their own version of it that was built into their soft top frames. So rather than being something that you can add to virtually any top like ours is, they built it into their soft top frame.
The
So
old
it is a
surround.
different product. It does the same, serves the same function for their tops. It's not
Right.
universal like ours is.
Right.
So they didn't step on my toes. They didn't violate any
Okay.
patent that I had applied for. We ultimately didn't get it. Several years later, I got a nice threatening letter from an attorney telling me that I was violating their patent, his customers, his clients' patent. I about died laughing. They were basically telling me that I needed to cease and desist and that I owed them money and all this other stuff for the top prop. So I went ahead and I have a collection of magazines that I had placed advertisements in going all the way back to 1999. And so I copied an advertisement, the back of Four Wheeler magazine from 1999, and sent it to them. Told them to go pound sand. I think I offered them $100 for it because I figured, well, why not? If I can get the patent, why not, right?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, but the reason I didn't get the patent when I first applied for, I dropped over $4,000 trying to get it, and for some reason, it
Oof.
just would never get approved. I just couldn't keep pursuing it, so eventually I gave up on it.
Yeah.
So
It gets expensive and it gets sometimes what you might get out of it outweighs just moving on with life. So all right. So let's get out of the nitty-gritty piece of that stuff and try to let's lighten the mood a little bit. Now we were talking earlier about my situation at Trail Hero.
yeah,
Excuse me, and how in that particular situation, skid plates were not going to help me because it was all soft sand that I was in that particular moment. However, Sand Mountain is a little bit different, and I'm one of those people who it's not that I don't believe in skid plates, it's that it's just I haven't made it enough of a priority. And I realize now that it's something that I need to make a priority for a whole host of reasons because I'm doing more things. And actually 2 years ago, and I think Pam, when I signed up to be affiliate and I just haven't had time, I've some other things going on. One of the reasons I did that was because I had an incident where I essentially just destroyed my front axle on a trail. And I think skid plates would have at least minimized some of that damage from it. And it's one of those things that you don't realize until you've had an accident of something or you've had a situation where you've like, oh, I should have had this to protect me from doing this. And even if you're doing like light off-roading, right? Like it doesn't matter
yeah.
necessarily what you're doing.
Well, for example, I got a phone call from a farmer down in Texas. He was out inspecting the irrigation system in his fields. Okay, so I mean he knows it's his field, it's his irrigation system. He ran into a standpipe with his Toyota Tacoma that
Oh,
literally tore the transfer case completely out of his truck.
oh,
Yeah, you don't have to be an off-roader to need skid plates because Toyotas come with this teeny tiny little thing that is bolted to the bottom of the transfer case. and it doesn't really do a hell of a lot. Actually, if you catch that on a rock, it can tear a hole through the casing as it gets
Yeah.
yanked off. So yeah.
That's good. I'm glad Toyota's that they've thought that design through,
Yes, very
and
much
tested
so.
it in real world experiences out here in the States. Good job, Toyota.
Well, we
I mean,
had,
again,
Yeah.
gives
we
you
had
an
a similar
opportunity for business.
situation with a TJ with the plastic bottom of the radiator. He stuck a corn stalk through it.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Wow.
Sure, because the bottom of that radiator is just plastic, and he was driving through the cornfield and stuck right in it. It's like, so that's why we have radiator guards.
I didn't even I didn't see that. I didn't look and see that on the website. Like that's an interesting product to have. Like I think it feels very niche, but I think people where you, because we talk about it a lot on the show, where you wheel kind of determines the kind of stuff that you need typically, right?
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
you guys out there, like cornfields, you need like stuff that might poke up through your stuff.
Well,
I might not run into that in Utah or in Colorado.
My Grand Cherokee, I have a 97 Grand Cherokee. And when I bought it, it was between the AC condenser and the radiator was completely packed solid with corn stalks. How there wasn't a hole in either one of them, I don't know.
The corn stalks, that's how they were keeping it from any more puncturing it. Yeah.
I guess. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, they absorb.
I mean, but now that I look here, like, yeah, you guys do catalytic converter guards. Like,
yeah, that's actually big for us. That's been very big for the Toyota point.
I'm sure it is. Yeah. I'm surprised you don't have any for the Jeeps then, huh?
No. I don't know that I've ever even been asked for that on a Jeep.
No, I don't think we have. We've been asked for a lot of Toyotas for that and Fords.
The Ford trucks. Yeah.
Yeah, the Ford trucks.
Yeah.
And the Priuses.
Yeah.
Anywhere these catalytic converters have more metal in them, those are the people that would like they covered up because they chop them off.
But it's easy when it's a higher up vehicle. So the Tacomas, Forerunners, Tundras, Sequoias were easy to get to because you don't have to jack them up at all to get under them. Whereas the Prius, they sit fairly low. So
I was actually a little late getting into the catalytic converter guard game because I totally didn't understand it. Initially, when people started asking me for guards for the Forerunner and Tacoma catalytic converters, I thought they meant off-roading.
Yeah.
No, we want anti-theft. Yeah. We just want to keep. Yeah. Wow.
It hit us out here in PA a lot later than it hit the West Coast. Like,
yeah, I mean, I didn't have a problem with theft. Nobody
know
said that it's because they were stealing them. They just, we make skid plates. They want guards for their converters. I figured it was because off-road damage.
All right, so that's a new question you need to be asking when people start asking you why do you want a skid plate for that part?
Yeah, I suppose.
Right.
You never know. Like somebody could be like, yeah, I really need a skid plate for this gas tank for some weird reason, and then you're like, oh, well, then maybe I should make that one thicker.
That was a thing too.
There is a weird reason for needing a gas tank skid plate.
Yeah,
and I can't actually accommodate them. At least I haven't been able to figure it out. People are asking me for skid plates, gas tank skid plates for their vehicles because other people are coming along and drilling holes into their gas tanks to drain the fuel.
So
now, I have to have
KJ originally that asked.
Yeah, it was a KJ for I've heard from I think a couple KJ owners, but the problem is I have to have holes in the gas tank skid plate to allow water to drain out. That allows you to get a drill bit to the gas tank.
Yeah,
makes a mess. I would imagine.
Well, they don't care about the mess,
right?
They just put a bucket under there and they're collecting whatever they can get.
That's impressive because is it something with like, can you not just pop and crack open the thing and siphon anymore? Like, is it?
Oh no, you haven't been able to do that for years.
Oh really? I am that.
Well, they never looked at the Renegade because all you gotta do is that is go poink, and it opens right up.
Yeah, but you can't get the hose down.
Oh.
I see.
Oh.
Yeah, at least
we all
it depends on the model of the vehicle, but yeah.
Well, I can show.
I'm not trying to figure out how to steal gas here, folks. I'm not. I'm just trying to make sure that I understand the situation.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's interesting. Okay. Yeah, I could think of a couple ways around that, but there's baffles involved for drainage. Like it'd be a big pain in the butt.
Yes.
So I get
Yes.
it. Okay.
We looked into it for a little while and like we went through a couple of different things and it just nothing ever really
I-
made sense.
Is there anything else that you've been asked to skid that you haven't been able to skid?
Oh, I mean, not that I wasn't able to, just didn't really have any interest in doing it because I didn't figure there was enough of a market for it. Because we get asked for skid plates for, well, essentially for people doing rally racing. You know, it
Mm,
might be a Subaru, it might be a BMW, it might be a Honda. You never know, and you figure you're going to end up making one of them,
yeah.
and that's,
Oh,
it's not like something I'm going to be able to sell again. Maybe, you know, maybe twice, but it's just, it's not worth it.
yeah. Oh, I get that part. No, I was really more just asking of like just you got it to a place where you're just like there's nothing. It's in a weird place. I can't really design something that's gonna work in that spot.
Not no, not that I can remember.
Just
No,
just the
pretty
gas
much
tank
you can.
for gas fuel.
Yeah,
Gas fuel.
that's
Good
been one
lord.
because I have to be able to drain the skid plate.
Yep. Okay. Hey, if that's the only one though that you can like think of that just wasn't like a one-off request that you couldn't do, I think that's a pretty good track record. And that's just because you don't want it to rust out because you're,
Well,
breeding
Trapped.
mosquitoes in the back of your
yeah,
Jeep.
or yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say or grow mosquitoes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I only say that because like the most of the people out west here, they don't know what that means because they don't get standing water and stuff like that. So like when I
Oh.
moved out here, like that was the best thing about moving from the Midwest, y'all, is getting away from the mosquitoes. Like
Mm.
And the
when I get a
humidity.
mosquito here, and the humidity is both of those things are amazing. Um, because I could only imagine that because that was my first thought when you said that was I could just see water collecting in my gas,
Mhm.
in my skid plate, and then I can't figure out why my Jeep is full of mosquitoes every time I get in it, and
Ew.
yeah, all right. So Eric, I will say this about, and just as a kind of a side note, one of the really
Okay.
nice things about the system that you put together, I know for the JK, and I assume this is kind of the same system you have for most of your stuff, is it all kind of works together, right? Like you don't have to buy every single piece at one time. You can buy one part and then just take off a few bolts and add another part whenever you have that time and money.
Yes. Exactly. Yeah, I don't like the idea of making stuff that has to be in that you have to buy this one in order to use that one. Now, I
Yeah.
did have that with the Nissan Xterra, the first gen Nissan Xterra. I never liked it. And now that I've just re-released the first gen Nissan Xterra parts, I redesigned them so that they aren't dependent on each other. So
Okay.
you can
That's
use a
awesome.
front skid plate by itself. You can use the engine transmission skid plate by itself. They connect to the same points, but they don't connect to each other. So they can be
Mm,
used separately or together. And that's the way I've designed everything.
yeah. I think
Everything is
for a lot
very
of people,
bolt-on friendly and like very user friendly. Like I have like my engine transmission skid plate attaches to the stock transfer case skid plate, transmission skid transfer case skid plate. Sorry, it's
I
getting
call it
late and I
transfer.
did not sleep last night. It's been a long day.
you didn't need to
Um,
worry about us this much. I'm not that heavy duty here. Like seriously.
so my engine transmission skid plate stocks attaches to my stock transfer case skid plate. So on a TJ, it's a shovel. Like a shovel. Well, my husband has a high clearance transfer case skid plate, and he has a Skid Row Offroad engine transmission skid plate that connects to it. So they play well with other
Yeah, they're
companies'
different.
parts.
Those are different designs because you have a short arm suspension on your Jeep and Brendan has a long arm suspension on his Jeep.
Did
But,
you have that? No, I just asked him. Cause I look. It's been a couple of years. It's been
anyway,
a little while.
but
I couldn't
so
remember if he had it all.
we do have different designs. Our we I try to accommodate the modifications that I know people are going to make, if I can. Um,
I just really
so
like the
Well,
modular
back
design
in the
aspect
day,
of it.
we actually kind of designed along with Rubicon Express so that our stuff would
well,
match their stuff.
sort of, yeah.
Sort of. But I mean,
Well,
it was compliable.
so
Yeah.
But
I really like the modular aspect of it because when you have, there's there's two things I always tell people. Like, don't go out and spend $100,000 on a Jeep, and then you could, just buy a new one for 60 and then, throw 40,000 into it before you've even gone out there and see what you do. Go out there and see what you do a little bit. And I'm not saying do what I did and break something before you need a skid plate. But what I am saying is that go out there and at least figure out what you're going to do to see what kind of skid plates you might want to need, especially
What
to start with.
modifications in general,
Yeah.
Right.
or how big you want to
exactly.
go.
And this is probably, and would probably be an unpopular opinion, but and I have an 03 Rubicon. I bought one immediately when they came out. And
Okay.
I still have that one too.
It's never seen the dirt.
It saw dirt once.
We had it in
No.
the desert.
Yeah, I did take it out into the desert north of Vegas when I had it at the SEMA show. But
Okay.
overall,
That's
no,
like,
Great,
I
it's
don't
dirt.
take that one out to speak of. But no, but the what I was getting at was that from what I have seen of folks who are just getting interested in and just getting involved in off-roading, giving them a Jeep as capable as a Rubicon seems dangerous. Because for the most part, I don't think they really understand when to use or how to use their lockers. And you can flip a
Nope.
Jeep if you use lockers and run it up farther than it should go. I've seen people do stupid crap because the vehicle was far more capable than they
their
were.
knowledge is.
and the companies are lagging about that, right? It's another thing we talked about in the show, because there's the, what is it, the Bronco Off-Rodeo. I think that you get a free weekend with that, like if you buy a Bronco. I think Jeep has something similar now.
Okay,
But the problem is that they do, like they're great programs. They're awesome programs. They're getting pushed more by dealers these days. But I wouldn't say they're being pushed enough. You know what I mean? Like it's one of those things where you really, if you're going to sell somebody that kind of a vehicle that can actually do a lot, like a stock Jeep can do so much.
Yeah.
Like here in Colorado, a stock Jeep can do 70% of the trails, 80% of the trails. And they're the big tires and everything else. That also means you can get in a lot of trouble real fast if you don't know what you're doing.
Right.
So people need some basic
makes
skills.
me think of oh crap, now I'm having trouble remembering the name of the trail that goes down into Telluride.
A black bear.
I was going to say Black Bear Path. I walked most of that because I was passenger and I don't like looking down. No,
That's
if you give me
fair.
a steering wheel where I can be in control, I'm fine. But
somebody
I
who
didn't
doesn't
like that.
somebody who has minimal off-road experience and a very capable Jeep that they don't know how to use can and has gotten into a lot of trouble there.
Let's face it,
I mean,
that's a long
I've
way
seen
down.
plenty of posts about not just Jeeps, but Toyotas and everything that
Jeeps.
they go up into the
that's everybody.
passes, whether it's Black Bear Pass or any of the other ones out in Colorado, and they get stuck because they think they can do so much and they don't have the skill set to know where their passenger side tires are, and it's on the edge of a cliff.
Yep.
Like, and then you see somebody go halfway off a cliff, or they roll their vehicle down the mountain. Like,
one of our dealers did that, and I actually have no idea how she is now because it's too long ago. But after she rolled her Cherokee down one of those drop offs, she was severely injured. The Jeep was totaled, and I think she's no longer in the business anyways. I think she just kind of dropped out, realized that was not for her. So.
I think, there's some events you're just like, I don't think I want to get back on this horse.
Yeah,
I can understand that.
she survived. I know she survived. I had talked with her afterwards, but and we're going back like 20 years. I can't remember exactly the details anymore, but I may remember hearing about it. So
yeah.
All
right.
For me, because I've been in the industry so long, and I was wheeling before a lot of other women were wheeling. A lot of my girlfriends come to me and they say, I want to get a Jeep now. And I always suggest to them to look into a Jeep 101 course. They will teach you how to put your vehicle in four-wheel drive. They will show you what you need to do. And I've had a couple of my friends say that was the best thing I ever did. So, a lot of times I try to promote that too. I would love to be involved with a Jeep 101. We have lots of friends that are involved in it.
Well,
and I'm
and
always suggesting they should do so.
Kyle driving and consulting business.
Right. Well, that's who
Yeah.
Naomi. That's who Naomi went with.
Okay.
I told her to talk to him, and
Yeah.
she loves it. She
Yep.
loves her Jeep now, and
And
she
he
was
does
kind of afraid of it.
Yeah, he does
beforehand.
a lot more than just 101, and, like, he came
Yeah.
out to an
Oh,
event we
yeah.
were at, and I was like, we've been wheeling for years, and he started talking somebody through something, and I was like, I wanna take his, like, advanced courses because holy cow, the way he can point things out for you to look at how to pick a line and, like, what
Well,
obstacle might become a problem and just
that's
things that
why the
you
military hires him, because he's
Right.
good.
Yeah, and you may
Oh,
not
that's
see
cool.
these things, especially as a new person getting a Rubicon and being on 35s from the start, you can do so much, but
I
you
never
don't
even
know
driven
the
on
things to look
35s.
for. You don't think about the fact out here, our
Oh, yes, I
rocks
did. I
move.
guess. Bingo.
Our trails change
Yeah.
constantly. Our boulders, if you hit them wrong, you're rolling that boulder all the way underneath your vehicle. I've done it.
Gee, really?
As Pam catches things underneath the Liberty while going down a little hill.
Because you threw
Oh,
that big rock at me.
Do
I,
it.
no, I think you two have been throwing rocks at each other all night so far. So let's be honest about it.
We ended up
Uh,
We took her out in the Liberty before it was lifted.
Before it
Thankfully,
was
it was skid
lifted.
plated because if it wouldn't have had skid plates on it, that day would have ended a lot differently.
Yes, absolutely.
And we went out with Tara and JR from Virago JKU.
okay, yeah. I'm a
They're
Terry.
local to us. And we were out wheeling with them, and we were out for just like a little easy putt-putt day. And Pam ended up getting a rock that for a lifted TJ, a lifted JK is nothing.
Probably
for a
even a
stock
lifted
Liberty.
K-Day, but
For the stock Liberty, it jammed itself as it rolled away, and she got stuck.
I was a
Thanks for JR
turtle.
that day. JR was wonderful.
What I would say, Pam, is that you don't necessarily need to be lifted, but your vehicle does.
She's got enough personality to fit in the 5-foot frame to take on anybody.
Oh, there it is. There
There
it
it
is.
is.
That's fantastic.
Okay.
Okay.
I was turtle.
All right.
So my Jeep's name is Felix, but I guess we should have called it Ertle. Oh.
I mean, so to that end, when you guys see damage, do you guys see a lot of damage pictures and stuff from people who have issues? Not necessarily from your products, but coming to you because, hey, this is what I did, and how do I protect it from happening again?
Well, I mean, I've seen plenty over the years. I can't say that people send me pictures and ask for. Usually, when people are sending me pictures, it's because something didn't fit.
Okay.
Or they did something wrong because it fits just fine.
Yeah.
They just didn't figure
I
it out.
probably
likely,
see
yeah.
more the pictures of, hey, this is what I did. Would this stop that? I see that a lot on social media more, I think, than
Okay.
we get like the emails.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
Because
fair.
I'll see them in our DMs and like in messages or even in comments, like, hey, you might want to check out Skid Row because that would have stopped that. if you
Yeah,
would have
because
done this.
you're paying more attention to the social media stuff
Right.
than I do, because I do other aspects of the business. So
But yeah, and then we'll see photos where people are like, thank God I had your skid plates because this is what I did today. I get those a
Yeah.
lot too. I actually just got one of
That's
those
great.
last week.
So what's the most common hit point on let's say the Toyotas, because if that's your most if that's
The
your
front.
biggest seller, what's your
The front
yeah,
skid
end?
plate.
right up front. It's
That
an
front skid plate.
independent front suspension on those vehicles, and yeah, that's usually the place that gets damaged. They'll either destroy the factory front skid plate because it's just sheet metal, it's not really a skid plate, or it's gotten lost, or they're sick and tired of taking it off and putting it back on every time they want to change the oil. And you don't have to do it. None of those things are a concern with ours. But yeah,
Nice.
the front skid plate on a Tundra or Sequoia is probably the area that gets hit the most. So
Okay.
as far as like other major damage goes, I don't know that. I mean, I would think offhand that it would be the transfer case because of the breakover, and that's right in the middle. But realistically, most folks are buying our transmission skid and cat guards. The Toyota Tundra and Sequoia owners, most of them are buying to protect the cats. rather than because there's off-road damage.
Gotcha.
So, but
Okay.
that's a fairly new development. So,
Yeah.
just in the last couple of years that's
You got to
taken
go
off.
with you got to go with what the community's asking you for, no matter what.
Yeah. But otherwise, I've seen oil pans for the transmission completely destroyed, for the engine where the drain plug's been torn out. I've seen damaged radiators. I've seen gas tanks caved in to where they have 5 gallons less capacity. I don't know who that might be.
What did she break? What did you have to go rescue her?
Oh, I
Didn't
blew up
your
Oh,
case
that
fall
was
apart?
yeah.
my transfer case.
What's that?
When I
Yeah,
blew up my transfer case to
yes,
literally to pieces.
yes, but
Yes.
a skid plate wouldn't have helped you
No,
any.
that wouldn't help.
No,
Okay.
that was just, it was its time to die.
Yes,
It was
just like
its time
Mingo's.
to die.
Actually, my TJ, I have a '98 TJ named Mingo. That the transfer case still was working quite well for over a year after I split it in half. I just didn't realize I'd split it in half.
We were
Oh,
in a trail, and he did the bowl of the trail, and while he was in that bowl, was there a clunk? I don't remember if there was a clunk
No,
or something,
not
but we
really.
saw fluid pouring
Yeah,
out of the bottom of the Jeep.
I was on my way out of this. It was this bowl area. I was on my way out, and I stopped. I don't remember why I stopped. And somebody said, "Hey, there's fluid." And I looked, and there's just fluid pouring out of the Jeep. And I looked and looked and looked, and I could not find where. I figured it came from the transfer case because it was, or transmission, because it was transmission fluid. But I couldn't find any breaks in the transfer case. I couldn't see any damage at all. All just all this fluid. I finished the trail.
We finished the day.
We finished the day. We went wheeling I don't know how many times after that.
And a year later is when it finally decided to give out on him, and he parked it while we were on our annual ambassador trip.
It hadn't even given out. It was just making noise.
Yeah, it was being weird. I took a video of it, and he's like, of course it wouldn't do it while you're videoing. But he parked it for the rest of the day. We took it out wheeling a lot after that.
when you
I drove it, off the trailer and into the shop. I thought I had damaged something with the transmission. I figured I bought a rebuild kit for the transmission. Because I knew second gear was having issues. And then I pulled the transfer case skid plate out from under it, and I looked, and I was like, as a matter of fact, I did a little video on it's on YouTube. It says, "Houston, we have a problem."
So you could actually see the damage
open.
once you pulled the skid plate.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They're tough to see with the skid plate in place.
Okay.
Thankfully, Mingo was literally just a trail Jeep, and went on the trailer, went to the trails, went on the trailer to go home. But
very nice.
yeah, I blew up my transfer case on the side of 81 on my way to an event. He had to come rescue me from that one.
That's never fun, especially when they're highway breakdowns like that. Those are always the worst.
Yeah, 65, 70 miles an hour down. If anybody that watches has ever driven I-81 through like Hershey out towards the 78-81 split, they'll understand how crazy that highway is.
Horrible.
It's
just
a horrible
everything
highway.
on the East Coast. Yeah.
Yeah. So I broke down on 81 doing like 65, 70 miles an hour. It blew up, and thankfully I got over quick and everything, but yeah, that was a fun morning. And then he just recently picked it up after my husband flopped it. You've picked it up again for something else too, haven't you?
Wow.
I can only think of it twice, actually.
Maybe it has only been twice. No, you picked up the LJ one time because he messed up the front end.
Yes, I picked up the LJ. Yeah. It's a good thing I have a truck and trailer.
That's who we call. We drive to and from the trail. My husband dailies his Jeep.
Yeah.
So
I'm a daily driver, Drew, so I get it. 100%.
I stopped daily driving mine, 2 years ago now?
Yeah,
I think.
about that.
I had the longer commute, so I took the car, and he kept his Jeep as his daily, and mine became a toy.
Pam and I both daily drive Jeeps, just not the Jeeps that we take off road.
I mean, no, that Jeep has also really only seen minimal dirt too.
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
I got it
Well,
outside in
I'm
the playground at
Renegade's
Roush
been
just
off.
for pictures. It was
already
fun.
jealous of the amount of Jeeps. Yeah, I'm already jealous of the amount of Jeeps in this group right now because I only have the one, and
Oh,
he currently does not have the hood that he came with.
Look, if you have to put your
I don't know
spouse
how
in
you
the
could have just
not.
one.
that's my only issue is we will argue over who gets what upgrades first.
Yes, you do.
And because it's TJ to LJ, like the only difference is really suspension and tops.
Length. Yeah.
So like when
Mhm.
it comes to bumpers and audio upgrades, because he wants to do a sound system and he's upgrading his sound in his Jeep. And
He has to upgrade the sound system because he hasn't bothered to get a decent exhaust system
Right, I
on
was
it.
going to say to drown out the exhaust.
that exhaust
Oh.
needs fixed so bad.
Now
And
the
he needs a
rocks are
steering
being
box too.
flown.
He really should do the steering box before he does the
Like,
and he's shaking his
The
husband,
head
only
no.
I'm
wrong
very
design.
sorry that all of these rocks are being thrown at you and you're not here to defend yourself.
He's just on the other end of the couch. He's laughing at
I
us.
know. I'm sure he is. He has every right to. I think that's probably the best reaction he could have to the moment.
We have fun. He gets dragged around to events with us too. When we did Bantam a couple of
Nice.
years ago, he came out with us and we ended up
Feature
buying an
budget.
RC Jeep and we ended up putting notes on the RC Jeep and taking it, like sending the RC Jeep to other vendors with little notes and getting things back. So we were trading like decals with them and like asking about products and
That's fantastic.
we had a whole
That's a
little like
fantastic way to spend your time, though.
yeah,
Mhm.
we had a whole little like setup so that he could like crawl the RC Jeep up onto the table and over the skid plates, and we used a top
now you
top
need to.
for it. And oh yeah,
I was about to
this
say,
is
did you
what
put
we can do.
a GoPro on top of that so you get all that
I have
first person
tried
footage?
a couple of times.
Okay.
The GoPro's a little heavy and a little big for the size of that RC Jeep. It does work on top of Eric's Bronco, though. Eric has an RC Bronco, and the GoPro works on that pretty well.
Insta makes a small camera that would fit well on top of those. So just FYI,
Yeah.
I know no one needs to spend more money, especially if somebody's getting a new sound system. But just FYI,
It's a new exhaust. New exhaust first. It's so loud. It's so. It jumps right under the passenger seat. It's so loud.
Oh, that's why.
He long armed it. So
I gotcha.
It dumps after the transfer case. Sorry.
Yeah, but
Two
it
years
feels
ago
like it's
now?
under you. Yeah.
I think was
2
it 3 years ago when I
years.
put that on there.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
It was not last year. It's been
No,
longer
wasn't
than that.
last year.
Don't you get
it's
like
been longer than that.
fumes in the cab
At
from
least
that?
3
Like,
years.
isn't
At
that a
least.
problem?
Because it was
Yeah.
right before the open house, our very first open house.
Was it the first open house or the second open house?
The first.
Was it?
Mhm.
He
I'm not sure.
literally finished
I am.
the long arm on that as we were getting ready for All Breeds, the open house that we had at the shop. Like he was putting on the skid plate for it at the open house.
Yeah, Brendan was it. I
Brendan was
installed
putting
the
the skid plate on.
suspension. He put the skid plate on it. Well, he tried to put the skid plate on it,
3.5 years.
Brendan, and he was
He
screwing it up.
tried.
I had to fix it.
That was funny. He couldn't figure out what was
Dang.
wrong, why this wasn't working. Like it was a thing. 3.5 years. So apparently I was the problem for the parts install on that one though.
I
gave him the
see.
wrong
Yeah.
part.
I think he was trying to get the plate on the bus that's been driving him over for the last hour of the show. So just want to make sure. Okay. Ah, boy. Wow. You guys are just brutal to each other. And I love it. I love it so much, though. All right. Well, we should get you guys out of here. It's getting late for you. What else do you guys have in terms of, do you have anything on the products coming up soon? Or are you just kind of refreshing some of those old designs like we were talking about earlier? And do you guys have any events coming up soon? I know it's getting
Do
wintry.
not have any events coming up. I am doing some refreshes on some of the older products because they were all the early stuff were 2D drawings, and all the shops that we work with now want 3D solid models. So I end up having to redesign. There's really nothing I would want to change on our steering box skid, for example, but that is one of the things that I have to do. I do have a couple of JL designs that I would like to get wrapped up, and I have a gas tank skid for the Forerunner that really needs third gen Forerunner. Boy, I can't even talk. That I really need
All of us
to
today.
get wrapped up. There was it's a design that was mostly finished a few years ago by an employee who ended up leaving suddenly, and I just never got back to it. I really need to get those projects wrapped up.
A couple of
Okay.
little ones here
So,
and there
The
too.
JL parts I've been asking for years because I see so many people in the comments on Instagram asking for JLJT, and he has at least the start of an engine skid on his own JL, so it would be
I
nice to
mean,
just, continue that.
sounds like you're getting there. The market is getting penetrated with them enough that I can understand why you would probably want to start thinking about it, especially because, as we previously mentioned, even though I disagree with the purchase of a $60,000 Jeep and then dumping $40,000 worth of products into it, there's still other people that are out there that want to do it,
oh yeah.
and
Yep.
so
You
One of
might
the
as well
things
help
that's
protect it
give 'em
frustrating
what they
with
before they
the
want.
mess it up.
yeah, one of the things
Yeah,
that's frustrating with the JL is that the part that fits on my 2018 won't fit on a 2020, even if it has the same engine, because they changed the mounting of the engine. Part of the other problem is that you don't just have the V6. You've also got the 4-cylinder, you've got the electric, now you have the Hemi. So there's so many different ones. Holding on to inventory is expensive. Plus taking
yeah,
the time to design each and every one of those, because every one of them is different, is
yeah.
is
What?
kind of a big deal. So, something that's designed for the 2018, how many of those do I hang on to as opposed to the new design that I have to do for 2020 and beyond? So,
Yeah,
there's some difficulties there too. I mean, I think I have some of it worked out, but it's still a pain.
it's
So,
It
pain.
some
is.
something I
Well,
need to address.
And I've understood that over the years, but, like, I've gotten so many people asking for it, and I said, like, "Let's just start small and start with one," which is, start with the most popular one, and let's go from there and
Yeah.
see, because that's the only way we're really gonna be able to test the waters with it at all, but it is a lot, and it's a lot for him to design, it's a lot for her and I to deal with packing and figuring all that stuff
yeah.
out and, getting it all on the shelf and finding room on the shelf for it,
And
and
then the other problem or the other consideration is now, okay, obviously we can't sell Jeep JL stuff to JL owners if we don't have it. Yes, I understand that part. But our customer base has changed a lot. I said we're selling so much more Toyota stuff than we sell. I've got more Jeep products, a lot more Jeep products, but I'm selling pretty much only Toyota stuff right now.
Yeah.
So I'm more inclined to
And
make Toyota stuff.
and I understand that too. But I think, I'm not trying to get into the business now. I'm just
No, no,
trying,
no.
and what I am saying, but Brittany does have a point. Like there's just like you start with one, see if it, kind of takes off. And if it doesn't, I mean, you don't necessarily have to continue down it. It is a pain in the butt because they keep changing stuff and because they are having, they just, there's so many different versions of just the undercarriage that
Hmm.
need to be
Yeah.
addressed in each of those things. It's not
Yeah.
like they're just
Not like
changing
it
parts of
was
the
with
engine and stuff
TJ's.
like that and doing like refreshes. Exactly. They're actually changing like bolt locations, and that's kind of the big issue with a lot of that stuff. And I don't know, I don't think they're doing it on purpose to screw the small businesses and stuff trying to make that stuff. I think they're just,
No.
I think the we live in an age now where they often put stuff out before it's ready, and then they let customers
fix it.
figure out what the problems are, and then they go back and fix it, which is bad for all of us, but means they put products to the market faster. So
Yeah. It also
it's
doesn't
going to
help
always
that
be fun.
there's the Amazon market. You have a lot of Jeepers who are gonna go for the quick, easy, cheap,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Amazon helps that and feeds that faster than anything else, whereas when it comes to any of the American companies, we're more expensive, but we're more reliable, but we may not
exactly.
also have it on your doorstep in 2 days like Amazon will.
Right.
Like, you get a
We
lot of people
try.
who just go, "I want it right now," because we are very much a society of right now. And when you've spent $60,000 on a Jeep, you're like, "Oh, I'm gonna do suspension. Now I'm gonna cheap out on this instead." So a lot
Yeah.
of the Amazon quick companies are just easier time-wise and cheaper, and that really doesn't help when it comes to
It's an ease of install thing too, right? Because it's such an easy product to install. It's something that's a lot easier for someone to buy the cheap piece of crap because they don't necessarily have to answer to somebody. They don't have to justify that purchase to anybody like out loud. It's like, Yeah, those are from Skid Row. Sure. Yeah. No, those or yeah, whatever. I just bought them on Amazon, and put them underneath there. I don't have to have a dealer do that or a shop do that for me. So I could see how that could be a problem too. So yeah, it's
I mean,
it's unfortunate.
well, you did bring up one kind of point that is always a consideration for me as I'm creating something new. And that is that part of the fun people have with these Jeeps in particular is working on it themselves.
Learning
They're,
about it
they're
too.
Yeah.
learning, they're doing the simple jobs they can do in their driveway. And, so I like to keep them in mind so that someone can install the thing themselves. Simple, as detailed the instructions as I can provide with minimal tools and, using as many existing holes as possible so that they can do the job themselves and have a nice quality finished product at the end. And that's always been on my mind as I'm designing stuff. Always.
And that's awesome because that's just like those off-road classes are empowering to people after they take them. The
Yes.
first
Yep.
time you wrench on your Jeep yourself, or Toyota, whatever it is you rent, the first time you do that yourself and you get done, you step away and you're just like, wow, that's actually how this is supposed to look. This looks awesome, fantastic.
Yeah.
It you know your vehicle better. You know how to you're more intimate with the vehicle, and every time you can take a chance to do that, whether it's through classes or through putting stuff on it and putting your products on it, I think it's just a really good way to get to know your vehicle because it's going to make it safer for you all the way around. How you drive it, what you do with it, like the whole 9 yards.
Yep.
Agreed.
All right. Well, let's go around the table. I like to go around the table when we get to the end of the show and see if anybody else has anything that they would like to add. I'm gonna start where I started earlier, and I'm gonna go by perceived height here, and I'm gonna give Pam. There she is. She's gonna try
Hey,
now.
my legs don't bend that way anymore.
Oh, I really hope people are watching this show and not listening to the show because that doesn't sound.
There's a pillow around here somewhere.
Oh, it's too late for that, hon. It's too late for that.
Hey, I don't have blocks on my clutch pedal or anything.
Oh my
No, but
goodness.
she sits literally in the steering wheel.
Yeah, the seat
Yeah, you
doesn't
might-
go any further forward.
No, it's literally
You know-
in the steering wheel.
Yes, it does.
You should watch
Pam,
Brittany
there's-
try to get into her car after she's driven.
Well, I got in after he drove it, and my foot was like 2 feet away from the clutch pedal.
Yeah, Pam, is there a legal classification that I should be aware of here? Is all of this discussion a hate crime of some kind? I'm very concerned. Okay,
My
well,
goodness.
do you got anything else for us, Pam? Anything else that you'd like to add on the meandering? This has been a fantastic discussion, by the way. But do you have anything else that you'd like to add?
No, I just like to say that us as Skid Row, Brittany is a great fit. Eric and I, obviously bigger, like whatever. But just the whole dynamic of off-road, the camaraderie, that's the stuff that I always have taken to heart. I'm the person who answers the phone if you call Skid Row 9 times out of 10. Even though I'm retired, I'm still here. But I love talking to customers. I love trying to help them out. And I try to add a little levity because, there's right away they're like freaked out or what. I'm like, nah. So we try to add that. And I think that really helps the business all around, not just for us,
Yeah,
for anybody who
100%.
has a decent customer service or a good rapport with their customers. I think that's a real big key for us.
It's super important. I think it's one of those things that you can't get these days. Most of
Right.
the time, how many businesses have an AI chatbot that you try to contact? Like, let me tell you a
Too
little
many.
story about Matt's Off-Road Recovery. You can call them, but you're going to have to get through the AI chatbot first. Yeah, so it's
Old
always
school
fun.
answering machine.
Huh?
Yeah,
Old school
honestly,
answering machine.
It's amazing
I
how
kinda
many
get
people
why
won't
they-
leave a message.
I kind of get why they gatekeep a little bit there, but still, like it's just that's just an example of it, like infiltrating the off-road community. But any kind of customer service like that, the idea that I can pick up the phone and actually get somebody on the phone that might actually calm me down, especially if I'm trying to like do something on time or whatever, whatever is that going on.
Well, there is one
That's
thing
awesome.
that I would like to bring up that we didn't talk. I thought about it earlier and then I forgot. Um,
Yeah, I
one
do
of
that
the
all the time,
things.
Eric.
Well, one of the things that I, I, I think people should keep in mind. People should understand, especially people who are just getting started in off road. They don't have to have 42-inch tires and Dana 60s and all the. They don't
Bells
have
and
to.
whistles.
They don't have to do this giant build just to get into off roading. But it seems like a lot of people think they need to, and they don't. A stock Jeep will do
A lot.
provide. It'll do a lot. It'll provide you with tons of fun without doing much of anything to it.
And it'll teach you how to drive your vehicle and understand your vehicle before you get to the stupid stuff on the stupid big tires and start breaking things.
Right, right. And most people also just this sounds like a sales pitch in a way, but
It should
before
be.
getting the lift, before getting the giant tires and the lockers and all the other stuff, it's like one of the first things you ought to do is protect the underside of it.
Yeah,
They, and they don't.
protect.
Right.
They don't.
Well, and I
We had.
will go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say we got a phone call from one of our dealers way back when. They're no longer in business. Well, no, I guess they are still in business. They're out in California. I'm not gonna embarrass him, but I got a call
You don't have to.
asking. He wanted to order one of our TJ skid plates. He had just put a 4-inch lift and 33s on his new TJ and took it out and tried an obstacle he had never been able to do before. And he took out his oil pan.
Oops.
Because he figured he
Yep.
didn't need skid plates yet because
I'm
he put
lifting.
a lift on it
I'm
and bigger
lifting.
tires.
Yeah, that'll do
Yeah,
it.
that just meant he could do
Yep.
stupider obstacles.
Yep.
Uh,
And as a person who has so I have a mild build, right? Like it's 2.5-inch lift, 35-inch tires. It's relatively mid build. And I will say this: no one ever said to me early on in my build process, you should really prioritize protecting the underbelly of your Jeep.
No, nobody does. We're probably about
And
the
they,
only ones who do that.
you are, and honestly, you guys, like through Craig and through you guys, like that's kind of how I learned more and more about it. Like I knew about skid plates here. I'm like, well, I just really need that for if I'm going to do rock crawling and stuff like that. No, it's a little bit more than that.
Mhm.
And then a couple years ago, I had an incident where I literally had a situation with the insurance company where they were looking at my frame underneath, and I couldn't understand why they kept arriving at this place. And I'm just like, how do you keep saying that all this is so bad, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? And finally they brought me into the shop and they get me underneath there, and they had circled every single dent and scrape and scratch that was along the bottom of it. And they're like, oh, this is part of your, this incident. And I'm like, no, God, no, this is just 10
oh,
years
wow. It didn't work.
of driving around without skid plates on, and this is the result of it. Like, and I don't know how else to tell you, like, it's just scraped and bumped. And I'm lucky when I look at some of those, been some incidents where I could have had a bad thing.
Oh yeah.
And you don't, so that's my recommendation. If you're out there listening, especially if you had a Jeep for any longer, if you've been off-roading for any period of time, if you haven't done it recently, get under your Toyota, see where you might have already hit, because there's a good chance that you've probably come close to being stranded on a trail someplace.
Oh yeah.
You know, you could lose 5 gallons of capacity in your gas tank because you put a head-size dent in the back of it on a
As
trail.
long as it wasn't from a head, I think you're good. Yeah, I think.
Probably, yeah.
Okay,
No.
good deal.
Not that one.
All right. Well, Brittany, Eric, you got anything else you want to add to that you've forgotten about during the show? Because we'll go to Brittany last since you're already on the floor.
I guess. Not.
Obviously, we like what we're doing. and
Well,
we
yeah.
still
I
wanna
mean,
be
I've
doing it.
I've enjoyed doing this for however long. Obviously, I'm still doing it, but no. I mean, as far as as for what we do and what we offer, we are often asked for aluminum skid plates. Have you ever been under a Jeep that has aluminum skid plates that actually have been used?
Yeah.
They get
We have.
destroyed. Yeah, I have. You have. They get
We have.
destroyed really quick, and they're expensive, and they don't hold up. And that's actually why we don't make them. We want to sell a quality product. We want people to be happy with what we provide them and with the money they've spent. Um,
And there
and
are
if they
places to
do
save weight.
ultimately end up buying more, buying new skid plates from us, even if they're replacing one that they have had, that they've purchased from us before, I don't want it to be because it just didn't hold up. I want it to be because they beat the crap out of it over a period of 20 years and decided finally to get something new. Because I've seen that also.
Right.
Where the skid plates are 20 years old, they've beat the crap out of them, and maybe it's time to replace them. But
It's time to replace them. Yeah.
I've seen fairly new skid plates, aluminum skid plates from a local company here that I don't know if they're still selling them or not, but local PA company, and they were destroyed in short order. They don't hold up. Then they're not worth the money.
Especially not to our rocks and
Yeah.
boulders.
Now, bear in mind, East Coast and West Coast wheeling are very different. Very different. Can be
Yeah.
very different.
And there might be a place for aluminum skid plates depending on what you do, but I think
Uh,
there's a lot of places you can
Overlanding.
save weight. Yeah.
Overlanding
and
is
I think
where they shine, because you're
Yeah.
not trying to do the rock crawling or the
You're just
crazy
trying to
obstacles. You're trying to travel, and you may end up in some rough, nasty areas here and there. And then, especially because you're traveling and you want to be able to save weight because you're carrying food and extra fuel and water, etc. That's when aluminum skid plates make sense.
Right. That makes sense to me. But even still, I think there'd probably be still certain things that I know on my Jeep that are exposed that I would be like, I'd still do, even if I was doing an overlanding setup, I'd probably still do steel on that particular plate.
Right.
Yeah.
Just because I like it. I like it a lot. All right.
Other than that, I don't know.
Yeah. All right. And what about you, Brittany? You deal with all of us yahoos in the chats and stuff, I'm assuming. So
You guys are
you
highly
have a whole different
entertaining.
problem.
Yeah,
I mean,
our
I don't
ambassador
chime in
chats
enough.
are always entertaining, and everybody always does a ton of different things and has a lot of fun. And I see a lot of the Toyotas, I see a lot of the Jeeps. I'm starting to see a lot of the Nissans. And I think one thing that the other two brands have over the Jeeps is that most of those guys don't go crazy building from the jump. They learn their rigs, they learn to wheel, they learn to understand what they're doing before they start throwing 37s, 40s, 42s on their builds. You can have a Jeep and have a ton of fun on 33s and 35s. Like, I mean, my little TJ wheeled with guys on 40s and led the guys on the 40s on 35s for quite a while. Eric has done tons on Mingo on 35s. I mean,
Yeah.
he's done Mammoth Trail. Well, he's done nothing of Mammoth
Nothing.
Trail. Brendan's over here doing this.
I will admit, I did not make it through nothing, but that's only because my front ox locker exploded. So
Yeah, if you haven't looked up Nothing and Mammoth Trail at AOAA, look it up. It's
Okay.
And there are some
the
there are some
Rubicon of the
pictures.
East is what they built it for, but it is.
Yeah, and
It's gnarly.
we have pictures posted, video posted of Brendan with his LJ going through there, and me with my TJ. And the boulders that we're going through, that make up that trail are enormous.
So if
Yeah.
it was smaller than a washing machine or dryer, they were used for nothing, because if it was on Mammoth, it needed to be washing machine sized or bigger for the boulders, because they are all man placed boulders.
Yeah. But
And
still, yeah.
I have pictures
I made it about halfway through Nothing. I think it was about halfway before the locker exploded. So I'm pretty sure that you could actually do Nothing on 35s.
at the right line. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
skill driving.
I'll
If you don't
probably
have
do
skill
that
driving,
next year. Once I get Mingo put back together. We'll see.
we'll have to message Dave and see if we can try again.
I'm sure he'll be happy to have us.
But like you don't
my God.
you don't need these massive builds to do fun stuff. I mean, we've we've done some great trails. We've done tons at Roush and tons at AOAA, and they've traveled all over the country and wheeled everywhere and done a ton of stuff on 35s or smaller.
I
Like,
did
you
it. I
can have a
did
blast. You just need to
Pelico.
I did
protect
the
your
Moab. I did the Moab Rim Trail in my '94 YJ on 31-inch tires in a front locker.
When though?
1997.
Oh, okay. Well, to be fair, it's a little rougher now, but I
I
understand what you're saying.
that I don't doubt, but yeah,
Yeah, I get it. I get that the trails have gotten rougher, and there has been some sort of a little bit of requirement to get bigger tires here and there, just in order to continue to go on
Or
those
just pick
trails.
a different line.
Well,
no,
and
it's not always.
sometimes not always. Yeah, and like
Not always, though.
I don't
know,
want
I
to
get
go
it.
bigger. Like, I'm at 35s, I'm good with that. But I don't think I could. I don't think I'd be able to wheel as much fun with 33s or
It
32s.
takes a lot of the challenge out as you go bigger.
Yes,
'Cause
and that's what I think people don't understand, is that it's a cheat code.
yeah, and out here, our trails are very tight. So when you go out west, like, the tons and 42s tend to work when you have a lot more wide open trails. Our trails are not wide open out here. We are very, like, a TJ fits through these trails okay, but a JK might end up with some pinstripes going through
And a
them on some of
JT
these.
doesn't make it.
Yeah,
And a
JT has a
JT,
hard time.
we put dents in because
Yeah.
that's just what happens if you drive a JT with us.
That's all you can find in Utah these days are the JTs. So
Really.
We
Yep.
have a couple of friends with him, and thankfully he has been phenomenal about the fact that he has dented his JT multiple times while we
And broken the hardtop.
And broke the hard time.
that sounds about right. One of our hosts has a JT and lives in Pennsylvania. So, and I'm sure, and he talks on a regular basis about 30, the turns, and sometimes he's really got to get it narrow in there. And you wheel what you got, though. He needs it for the kids and the overlanding, and that's usually what he's ended up doing. So, but either
yeah, and
way.
then sometimes you
All
decide
right.
you're going to take it into Roush Creek and take it down the trail. Probably not a good idea. Or do it when it's
Choices were
pouring
made.
rain.
Yeah. Sometimes
we
you don't
were
make good choices, but that's why you have skid plates.
Yeah,
that's
there
true.
you
Yeah,
go.
yeah. What I was
There's
just
the
going to say is
line.
when we were building the trails early on, when Roush Creek wasn't even open yet, and we were starting to build the trails there, we all had YJs and TJs. So the larger JKs and JTs, they weren't even on our minds because they didn't exist.
No,
Right.
and we took Eric when I first started working for Skid. We went to Roush and did like a day going to Roush because he hadn't been out in a while. And I took him to Yellow Jacket specifically at Roush Creek because he had helped create that trail. And I wanted to show him what Yellow Jacket looked like now
It's
after seeing photos of what it looked like when
unrecognizable.
they started. And he was like, I don't recognize this because it's changed so much and so much has washed out. And, it's completely changed the landscape of the trail. And things change over years. And yes, like the bigger tires can make it a lot more fun or make it a lot easier. But
And in
we still
case
have a ton of
anyone is
fun on
wondering,
35s.
the reason
Yeah.
that trail is named Yellow Jacket is because when we were cutting it, we ended up disturbing a nest of yellow jackets.
Did you get stung?
I didn't. I don't even think any of us did, but it came close.
Okay.
I mean, they
Okay.
were all over. Yeah.
As long as we didn't have like what's that terrible movie that I'm trying to think of right now where the poor
Worm?
kid. Yeah, the
Yeah,
poor kid
I don't
gets
think
stung.
anyone was stung, but they were at
Okay.
the
My
top of
girl.
the
All I
top of
could do
the
was my
trail
girl.
area, right before you get into the rocks, and but that's the reason it's called Yellow Jacket.
All right. That's
So-
amazing. That's a great name for a trail, though. That's a great way to name a trail, because like all of our trail names out here they're old mining roads, so they usually have a name associated to them already, and sometimes they're really boring. My favorite thing is when I'm mapping a trail for Trails Off-Road and I get to name an obstacle because no one's named it before, and like
Yeah.
it's just
Cool.
everything
The only
else has
weird
got
one
a
I
name.
can think of from Colorado, Saran Wrap.
That is,
We
and you know
did
what's funny
the
is
start of
Saran Wrap's
Saran
only like a
Wrap with a
mile long.
friend in his
Yep.
Jeep. We jumped in his Jeep and did the start of Saran Wrap in the winter time and then back
Nope.
down the beginning of Saran Wrap because it was so
There it
icy. And
is.
he was like, I don't really want to do this. And backward down
Nope.
we went. Terrifying.
The
The most
rescue group here
terrifying
gets a
experience I've ever had in a Jeep.
It's Eagle Rock and Saran Wrap are essentially a loop of trails that you can do out here. It's off of Gold Camp and Old Stage Road, and yeah, in the winter, like they're rough trails in the summer, and in the winter they just turn into these ice rinks, and people they're worse than they were when you were here. And
No, I'm not surprised by that.
yeah,
'Cause but that was an area you had to have a 4x4 to get into to get back there, because we used to go up there and go shooting or camping, and you couldn't get past a certain point in that area without a 4x4, because you would see little cars, like little Honda Civics going up that road to go, and like you're like, "What are you doing?" Put it
well,
whatever.
without getting real deep into it, essentially Old Stage Road and Gold Camp Road is an old mining, not
Mhm.
excuse me, an old railroad, and it's maintained as a county road between Colorado Springs and Cripple Creek. So
I used to drive that all the time.
yeah,
But
that's why they
it
can
would
still
get
run a
really
Prius on
potholed,
it.
especially right after
Yep.
winter.
Yep.
Like, as the spring thaw happened, that would the potholes that would come up into that road, because it's all dirt and gravel,
Yep.
were
Yep.
just
They scrape it every year. They repave it every year, or not repave it, but they put dirt down and stuff, and it's a nightmare of a road. If I'm being honest, I'd much prefer to do Rampart Range, which is a little bit closer to me here. So, but
Did
it
we
is
ever
what it
do
is.
that?
It's still access. You probably did. You
Yeah, we
probably
did
did. Rampart
Rainbow
Range connects.
Falls. We did Rainbow
Rainbow Falls
Falls.
connects to Rampart Range and
We
is off of
did
Rampart Range. Yeah.
down near Independence Trail? Like,
Independence Pass
no, not Independence.
or Independence
It was
Trail.
Independence
Yeah. Okay.
Pass.
Was it?
We didn't go, we walked part of it because we were, like, looking at it, and they had anchor points in the wall to get out of that one trail, and we were like, "What is this?" Because at that
Yeah.
time,
No,
that was, like,
it's Independence Trail. No, she's right. Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, look at that. Yeah.
down
Ooh.
it's South Colorado Springs, but we walked part of that trail because it was like a stair step going down at one point, and then we walked over and looked at the exit because it was just anchors in the friggin' wall,
Mm-hmm.
and we were mind boggled by it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's just not my idea of a fun day.
No, and then when we did when we did
Oh, that
Chinaman
looks like
Gulch,
nothing.
a couple of the guys were looking at Carnage and debating on doing Carnage, but avoided it that day. But they walked
Ugh.
Carnage, and I was
Yeah.
like,
Here's
like
the
as soon as
thing.
I saw that, I was like, no,
The
no.
name of the trail is Carnage Canyon. Like
So
I
give
have
you some idea.
zero motivation to go down into it. I just don't have
Mm-mm.
it in me. So
No, I would
don't
like to
care what-
watch people do that though. Like, I'll watch you
I
from the
don't
top.
I don't know. Like the crunch makes me cringe. So every time I hear it, it's just I don't know.
I don't have to pay
Ugh.
for it.
That is a valid statement, though. I like that part.
It may make me cringe, but I don't got to pay for it.
I like that
So
too.
more power to you for that one.
You know what? That's actually that's a good slogan for you for the skid plates. It may make me cringe, but at least I don't have to pay for it.
There you go. There you
Very
go.
true.
It's how to make me cringe. Yep. All right, that's we're all getting punchy, and it's not even that late for me out here. All right. So I know you guys are all over mostly your Instagram, right? Like I know you have Facebook and stuff, but mostly it's the Instagram stuff.
I
these
I
really-
days?
don't do Instagram.
Yeah, she doesn't.
No,
do
I know it's
Instagram.
Brittany.
She's on Facebook. I'm on Facebook and YouTube. I really rarely look at Instagram. For some
Okay.
reason, Brittany has permission to do all of the social media stuff and for Skid Row, and I can't, even though I'm the person who set it all up.
Oh,
Welcome to
I don't
Meta.
know
well,
what happened there. Something got messed up with Meta. I can't even answer messages.
No, so
True.
if you message on
Dang.
Instagram or on Facebook, it's me that
Yeah,
answers you.
gotcha.
And then that's why you'll get,
I've-
let me talk to the boss man or let me talk to Eric. Because
Yep.
they'll ask questions and I'm like, I don't know the answer to that one. Give me a
Let
list.
Meta just won't let me.
Let me tell you this, Eric. You don't want that. Just be happy with it. You don't want it. You don't want any part of it. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. I tell you, I'm in it. I don't want any part of it.
Yeah.
I don't want any part of it.
It's-
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Okay.
And Instagram is changing again. And
It's not very much fun. I'm finding myself on YouTube more these days, but that's a different discussion for
that is
different days.
Eric's place now. He's been doing the YouTube thing for Skid Row.
We like it's that's where it's at right now, kids. Go to the tubes. That's there's all kinds of stuff to read about that, but this
Yeah,
is
because
not the
the
place for it.
TikTok is a
Yeah,
mess too.
exactly.
The tiki talkies and the kids with their with their 6.7s and whatever it is. What the hell?
I don't
know what's
understand.
going
I don't
on
know.
anymore.
We have friends with a
Nope.
14-year-old, so I asked them because I'm like,
Yeah,
explain
I'm
this to me.
too.
Skibbity
I just don't
toilet
ask anymore.
thing. I had to have him explain that to me because I
I
was like,
checked
I
out.
don't
I
know what
think
this
that's when I
is.
checked out. No, I think that's when I stopped asking. I think that's when I was like, I'm done. I don't need to know anymore. I don't need any more.
Pam's
All
like,
right,
I
and
don't have
see,
kids for this,
Pam,
so I
and
don't
you're
hear it.
better off for it. No, you
Yeah,
are better
see?
off for it. You're 100% good. All right. Well, thanks guys so much. I really appreciate it. Pam, Brittany, Eric, like again, I'm amazed you guys have been in business for forever. I mean, that's the 1999 is just a significant amount of time to be in business, an off-road business, especially such a small operation as you guys
Seen
managed to pump
a
out
lot.
quality stuff.
I've seen a lot of companies come and go.
Yep. And that's it. I think I've seen a lot of companies come and go in the last 10 years just doing this. And so it's awesome to hear you guys still doing that and still doing it right, if I'm being honest. So check them out at skidrowoffroad.com. Check out the Instagrams and the Facebooks and the YouTubes. I'll link to all of that stuff from you guys in the show notes for you guys when the show goes up. And then just check them out, guys. Like, I will say this one more time. Like, there's always a place where affordability comes into it, but that's the really nice part about your guys' setup is that you can buy the piece that you need today and then get the other piece that you need tomorrow, and then get the other piece that you need when you can afford it, and just kind of keep adding on to it as opposed to just having to all in it. And if you've got the money to all in it, I'm sure Eric and team would be glad to take it, and glad to take that order for you, but they're also just as happy to help you guys piecemeal it through and get it to where you need it and how you want it. So check them out again at skidrowoffroad.com. And that's it, guys. I don't have anything else. Last call for any comments.
I think we're good.
Nope.
We're good.
Think we're good? Okay. All right.
All right.
Well, thank you all so much for riding along with us on this episode and letting us be a part of your off-road adventures. Safe travels on and off the road, and we'll see you all next time at the Trailhead.
All right.
Take care.